Final Fantasy XIV, a game which has been the savior for most of us WoW players. Many, and I mean many people have left WoW and joined the Final Fantasy bandwagon. And I am definitely not the first nor the last person to say that Final Fantasy has been a warm welcome and a game that I love to play besides WoW. So in this video I will go over my own adventure into the world of Final Fantasy XIV and the experience I had playing the first hours of the game. I have played around 20 hours, and yes, I know, only 20 hours, I haven't gone far in the game, but this is going to be my first time reaction to the game, so let's start. The first advice I'm going to give you before playing this game is to install this game on an SSD if you're going to play this game. This isn't WoW where the main loading screens are between continents. The loading screens here are between zones. Sometimes you might be passing through 5 instances within 5 minutes. So to make it more tolerable and much more playable, I recommend installing it on an SSD. Firstly, my character. I created an Ul'dah because I didn't want to be a Lalafell enjoyer or a catgirl fan. Of course, with choosing Aura, I had the choice between the goody two-shoes of our race, the Rian, or the edgy and goddamn badass Dragonkin nomads, the Zela. Next up is character creation. I made my character to look like a complete Chad. Red markings across my face to symbolize the amount of pussy I'm about to destroy and the tail size of freaking Godzilla. By the way, did you guys know that this game has a boob slider? Yeah! I'm totally serious, this game is already 10 times better than WoW for simply having a boob slider. While customizing my character, I had the choice of choosing a patron deity. Guess which one I chose? Of course, the most badass deity there is, the god of destruction. Then I had to choose a class. The choice was between one of Disciples of War and Disciples of Magic. Since I am a smooth-brained player who uses his raw strength rather than his intellect to solve problems, the Disciples of Magic were out of the question. So I had to choose between the Gladiator, the Pugilist, the Marauder, Lancer, and Archer. And as in every game, there are 3 roles every class partakes in. The Healer, the Tank, and the DPS, be it range or melee. The Gladiator and Marauder are tanks, the rest are DPS. And I chose the Gladiator because beforehand I didn't know it was a tank. Only while streaming, a viewer told me that I am playing a tank. Caught me a bit off guard, but I played along and did my role. And since I usually play a DPS in most MMORPGs, playing a tank was something new to me. Then I had to choose a round to play in, and I chose Cerberus AU, and like my ancestors in the Soviet Union, I waited in a queue to play the game, and finally got to experience what was all the fuss about.
Here. Here. Feel.
That was freaking epic. The cinematics in this game hit differently. Whenever I got one of these cinematics, I got goosebumps all over my body, and I wanted to learn more about what the hell is going on in this game. From the very get-go, it got me interested in what was going on in this world. Like, firstly, what was that flashback? Why was there a hooded figure telling me to hear something? Why did we fight, and so on? I just can't stop wondering what is going to happen next. Anyways, enough of fangirling over the story, let's get into the game. Hey. Hey. You cannot... Are you alright, lad? Wait, what? More reading? Yes, more reading. This game's story is told through dialogue windows. Like the very first hours I spent were primarily talking to NPCs. If you don't care for the story and experience, the world of Final Fantasy is going to be a hard game to get into, because most of the gameplay is mainly talking to NPCs and doing quests. You will be amazed how little combat there is in the start of the game. If you are hoping to get into the combat from the get-go like you do in WoW, I am sorry to disappoint you, but it will take you a good hour until you get to kill your first mob. And by this point you're probably thinking about just skipping the dialogue and getting into playing the game. Don't skip the story. You can skip through side quests because most of them don't say anything new other than I have a problem, please help me solve it, but don't skip the main story because it is where the whole fun is. I know most people hate reading, but trust me, this will make the gameplay for you so much more enjoyable. Don't be the WoW Andy who skips through the story, read and enjoy it. Trust me, the reading will make you feel much more immersed inside the game, and maybe it will bring back the feelings that WoW once gave you. Also, you can recognize the main story quests by them being located top left side of the screen. You can easily level up by doing the main quest and never touch the side quest. Continuing on, I get woken up by my fellow passenger on the caravan. We're quickly stopped by the corrupted like hell security force of the Brass Blades, who do the American method of policing by planting evidence on the caravan and then asking to be paid not to get into trouble. Thankfully we were attacked by Ul'dah, the lizard-like monsters. They quickly distract the Brass Blades and get in a scuffle with them. This lets us escape and get to the city of the desert Ul'dah. Here is the first hub of the game if you pick the class Gladiator, Pugilist,
Thaumaturge.
We part ways with our fellow passengers and enter the main city. Here we are stopped by the most classy looking mother effer around in the town, Waymond. He gives us instructions on where to go because he sees that we are a newbie here. We are told to go and meet Momodi. We go and we meet her and the Adventurers Guild. Momodi, is one of the few main persons who personally takes care of us and tries to keep us out of danger. After some explanation about the city and the geopolitics of Tanalan, the lands that fall under Ul'dah control, and some juicy fan service, we get some explanation about the starting cinematics of Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn, that most people don't really remember what has happened and just that something big and catastrophic has happened. After seeing the types of people who play this game, sort of buckle on. Oh my god, that's so good. We sign up to the Adventurers Guild so we could start getting missions from people in need of our service. So we complete our first quest and level up. Then we are sent around the city to explore what is going on and how the entire city works. After this quest I started doing all the side quests around like some OCD patient, because in WoW you must do every single quest around before moving on to the next area. But in this game you can easily level up by doing the main quest. So don't do the same as I did, do the main story first and then go back and do the side quest, unless you really want to do the side quests from the get-go. Also, the side quests are pretty much the same as it would be in WoW. Kill 5 mobs, collect some rocks, collect some skins from the animals. I noticed that in most MMORPGs the quests are pretty much the same. Kill some mobs or collect some stuff to get rewarded with some gear, but gear isn't the main reason for questing. The main reason is to experience the world and to meet new people, to know more about them. In Final Fantasy XIV, you experience that through the main story and your profession/class story. So, being the autistic child that I am, I started by doing the side quests, and by doing so I experienced my first combat in the game. And while we are on the topic of talking about the combat, I got to say that it took some time to readjust. There is a 2.5 second global cooldown, which makes the combat in the first levels feel very slow and non-responsive. Of course, this is because in WoW, the combat is very reactive and quite literally a keyboard smashing experience. Here you don't need to continuously smash your keyboard to time the combat, but after some time you get used to it, and especially in later levels when you get more abilities which don't interact with a global cooldown, it makes the combat much more dynamic and much more free-flowing. So while side questing, I came upon the Gladiator storyline. A quick explainer: the story is divided between two separate parts, the job class storyline and the main storyline. In this video I will be jumping from one to the other like a spastic monkey. So in the Gladiators Guild, I met my professional leader / guildmaster First Sword, Melia. She explains to us the way of the sword, and questions are resolved if we are ready not only to live by the sword but also to die by the sword. And as the mad lad that I am, my answer is of course yes. Doing so, she sends us to kill some pests, and after mercilessly murking the multiple pests outside the town, we come back to her and tell that we have killed the vermin. After that I continue on doing side quests where I did my first fate, which are just like world quests in WoW but much quicker to do and not necessary to do, and where I met my first high level stream sniper, Valantis. This dude not only explained a lot to me, but also let me fly in his mount, which was pretty sweet. When I saw the mount he was using, I just wanted to play the game even more because they were so freaking awesome. Like seriously, when you see other players at high level having so much fun playing the game and collecting stuff, I can't stop wanting to play the game even more. Okay, back to the main quest. I attune myself with the city and talk to the always delightful Momodi. She sends me to help Papashan, another delightful but yet foolish individual. We help him. By doing so we earn his trust and figure out that he is looking for the Sultantress of Ul'dah. We meet the Sultantress at the Sultan Tree. Very original. Here is where I face one of the first of the voice acted cinematics of the game. I got to say, I fucking love these. Some of them tell the story so well. And it is even better because my character is interacting with the NPCs. Anyways, the Sultantress Lilira is approached by our new friend Tancred. He wishes to protect the young mistress, but as we are about to leave the Sultan Tree, we are attacked by a creature of the Void Sand. The hands of Tancred and I defeat the beast, and its defeat he left a crystal which I smoked and got a mad trip.
Hear, feel, think. Crystal Bearer. I am Hydaelyn, all made one. A light there once was that shone throughout this realm, yet it hath since grown dim. And as it hath faltered, so hath darkness risen up in its stead, presaging an end to life. For the sake of all, I beseech thee, deliver us from this fate. The power to banish the darkness dwelleth in the crystals of light. Journey forth and lay claim to them. By thy deeds shall the crystals reveal themselves to thee. Only believe, for the light liveth in thy heart. Shine thy light on all creation.
Show the cinematic. As it seems I fell asleep from the crystal, shit happens. Now to the gladiator storyline. As a gladiator, we are trained to be a tank, to take the heavy damage and protect others. So Milia sends us to deal with some marauders who are buggering the locals by telling them to face us. Most of them being massive beta males just quickly bugger off without even thinking about a fight. But then we face the marauder leader Palmur. He offers me a fight, but we are quickly interrupted, probably by one of the most alpha male people ever, Ul'dah. He's one of the legendary warriors. Simply by seeing his weapon, Palmur becomes a wimp and quickly buggers off. Ul'dah introduces himself, tells me that he is going to fuck some bitches. God. What a chat. Nobody tells me not to tell Milia about all this for some weird reason. We go back to Milia and she sends us to take care of Palmur for once and for all. I quickly put him down like the beta male he is.
Know your fucking place, trash!
After this, she sends us to go and figure out who has been killing the fellow gladiator. She sends us to the cutlass gladiator has been reported to be attacked. We quickly dispatch the attackers, as it seems they've been searching for one and the only Ul'dah. Before we are able to tell Milia that they are looking for Ul'dah, we are quickly dispatched to a cave where the rest of the attackers are hiding. The fellow healer, Bruce the Big. We get to the cave, defeat the rest of the Trust White freelancers and their captain, and by doing so we earn the right to join other guilds. Pretty much we are now able to play other classes, which is pretty sweet, because unlike in WoW, we aren't locked with one class on the same character. We're able to quickly swap to other classes and experience the other ways of enjoying the combat in this game. If you ask me, I think this is a pretty sweet system, because in WoW I only played one character and tried to make him as powerful as I could make him. I never could be bothered playing other classes or leveling them, even though I really want to try out other classes, but the amount of time I would need to spend gearing them up was too much. Also, I did some dungeons at lower levels. They were very easy as AF. We never faced any enemies that were ever close enough to killing me. Were they fun? Sure, it wasn't something special, but I guess it was something. Also, I went to the wonderful area of the Golden Saucer, the place of sin. I had some fun there gambling and trying to win big money with the numbers game. And hell, in my 6th attempt I actually hit the jackpot and I got 10k coins. Yes. Okay, A4 over here. 3 over here. Ooh, wait. Okay, definitely selecting this. Yes. Yes! Oh my god, biggest win! Holy shit! Yes! Oh my god! Heck, some days I wake up and I just want to log into Final Fantasy and try winning again. But I guess that's just my gambling addiction talking to me. And while writing the script, I haven't gone very far in Final Fantasy. I have reached the story of Science of the Seventh Dawn. Hello. Welcome.
I never doubted that you'd come.
Fuck. And my character is level 27. I love the game and the story. It's sad that I barely have enough time to play it. Can I recommend it? Heck yeah! The game is fun and the story is great, and it only gets better the further you get into the story. It deserves the praise that it's getting, and no wonder so many WoW players have moved to Final Fantasy XIV. It's beautiful, the combat is good, and the feeling you get from playing the game is even better. As I said in my Why I Quit WoW video, I said that I get the same feeling from playing Final Fantasy, the same feeling I got when I started playing WoW in Cataclysm. And since you can play it for free as a free trial, I definitely recommend picking it up and playing it. Just a warning, you're going to spend about 2 to 3 hours until you set everything up just to get into the game. Like, the worst part of Final Fantasy XIV is getting it, but the rest is loads of fun. So tell me in the comments down below, do you want to see more Final Fantasy XIV content and my journey through Hydaelyn? I would really love to know, because Final Fantasy is one of the games that I played recently and I really enjoyed. I would love to make more content about it. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. See ya!